Hello and a good morning, good afternoon and a very good evening to you, the good people of the tube. Hope you're feeling grand and all is well in your world. Hello there everybody. Today's vid, everybody, is about this fantabulous tweed machine right here. This is a Fender Pro Junior that I recently bought. Yes, Dave finally bought a valve amplifier. But so this will be my fourth valve amp that I have owned. So I've had a JCM 100, Marshall 50 watt 1987X. I've got the Harley Benton in the corner, which I don't really use much anymore. And I've got this. And the reason I bought this was because it was just too damn good to pass up on. So I got this from a local guitar shop called Gallagher's. And I went in with my two friends, and I just saw it. It stuck out a mile because it's really, well, it's just dirty tweed. It looks amazing. Hopefully you can kind of see. Let me move. So I hope you can kind of see. It's not particularly clean. It's very, you know, they lacquered these things, and it's just, I don't know the age of this thing. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but it just looks filthy. There's like drink stains on top, and I just saw it and immediately was like, that looks cool. I need to try that. So I plugged it in and just started messing around on it, and I just fell in love with it. Like almost immediately, I was just like, amazing. And then I wound it to 12. When you turn this thing all the way up and you get that kind of overdrive thing that this thing does, it's just like, nah. And it takes pedals well. I had to have it, basically. So I bought it, and I don't regret it. It was wicked, and it's wicked, and I absolutely adore it. Actually, in all fairness, I wasn't going to buy it. I was a bit kind of hesitant and a bit dubious about buying it. It's like, should I, shouldn't I? When I'm in that, you know, when you get into that kind of mode where you're like, should I buy this or shouldn't I buy this? I don't know. Should I, shouldn't I? And I had no idea what I was doing with it. So I asked my two friends I was with, and my friend Nicole just said, buy it. And I was like, yes. Yes, straight away. And so I did. And so basically I've got to thank Nicole for this, because if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have bought it. So Nicole, thank you very much. And I do love it. I really love it. It sounds amazing. It's stupidly loud for a little beast that it is. It's only 15 watt. It's so loud. It's so loud. I mean, I've got it on, for the intro jam, I had it on 3, and you couldn't talk over that volume. You just can't talk over it. It's such a loud amplifier. It's for a 15 watt little 10-inch speaker. Unbelievable. Anyway, so I don't know much about the specs. I think it's EL something or another's in the power section. I think you got 12 AX7s in the preamp. The speaker, I believe, is an Eminence, but I could be wrong on that one. I don't know the year of this. I really want to know the year of it, because I don't actually know. So people of the tube, I throw this question out to you. If anybody knows how to date these things, let me know. And also, the serial number is, well, it starts with a B. So that's obviously a prefix for a year. So if this prefix on this amp starts with a B, can somebody tell me what year that is? Because it looks old. It's had a lot of use. It's really stained off. You know, the lacquer is no longer yellow. It's really nicotine colour, and it looks really cool, and I love it to bits. So and it's just, I just wish I could gig it, because I'd love to know if this is loud enough to gig with. I have a distinct impression, no. Just simply because I don't think it'd have the headroom. Because once you get this amp to about 7, it starts to break up. But saying that 7 is stupendously loud. I don't know. But anyway, this amp is amazing. I love it to bits. Will it be an amp that I have forever and ever and ever? I don't know at this point in time. This is one of those kind of question marks where I really love it. But would it, you know, will it be here in a year or 2 years or 3 years time? I don't know. We'll have to see. Watch this space, people of you. But yes, Dave finally bit the bullet and bought a valve amplifier. In all fairness, I really want one of those Marshall Classic Studio Classics that you've seen demo. I really want one of them as well. They're amazing. This kind of like fills that kind of want and desire for that kind of tweedy kind of sound. It's just a very, very cool amp. It just sounds amazing. So, anyway, without further ado, enough jibber jabbering on. So, usual thing, what we're going to do, we're going to run a couple of different guitars through it. Well, you're going to hear the pedal board first. I'll show you that in a sec. Run a couple of different guitars through it, different volumes. I'm going to plug in the Tone City's Tiny Spring reverb when we go direct into it. So when we come out of the pedal board, so pedal board sound I'll show you that first, just to show you how it takes pedals. You heard it in the intro and it sounds amazing, but I'll go through pedals sequentially and show you how it sounds. Once we unplug my pedal board, there will be the Tone City tiny spring plugged in and on all the time, just to give it some reverb, because this amp doesn't have reverb. So, like I say, let's give you an idea of the top panel as well. Quick! Oh, my legs, I'm not as young as I used to be. So, all we've got here is a volume and a tone and an on switch, and that's all you're getting, and they go to 12. Oh, there's my camera. Hello, Q8. Okay, so, and no effects loop, everything goes to the front end. It's fan-blooming-tastic. And I say, hopefully you can really see how stained off the lacquered tweed is. It's really, really orange. It's really, really cool. And the grill cloth's like supremely like baggy. This is where I've got it mic'd up. So again, not close mic'd in the slightest. I don't like close micing things. And also this thing's that loud. I don't think it'd sound great close mic'd. So anyway, without further ado, pedal board quick. It's my mini board. So Golden Plexi, Marshall Governor, Zoom, Bing the Brain, DS2, Ivan Eswar. I got the Ditto Looper there. Just, you know, I won't be using that next, but that was set up with the intro jam. That's what I'll be using. John Strat to start with, and then we'll move on to another load of whatever we see here, and we'll just mess around with this and see what kind of sounds we can get out of it, because it's an absolute tone machine with just 2 dials, and that's all you need. It's amazing. I wasn't swearing at your amp, I do apologise. 2 dials. Yes, that'll work. That's not swearing. I don't know. Is that swearing? I don't know. Maybe into one. I don't know. Anyway, enough talking, enough jibber jabber. Let's get playing on the Fender Pro Junior. Awesome. Okay, so that's with pedal board. As you can hear, this thing takes pedals rather well. It just sounds wicked, and it's just so. The fact that it's just volume and tone makes it so easy to dial anything into it. You know, there's just no kind of like, you know, what you see is what you get kind of thing. So it's very, very quick, very easy to get kind of like, you know, a sound out of this thing. Very, very easy, and I like it very much. So what we're going to do now, we're going to unplug the pedal board, going to plug the tiny spring in, and all the rest of the sounds you're going to hear for the rest of the vid are literally straight into the amp. As I say, the only pedal is going to be the tiny spring, just to add a bit of reverb, because the amp doesn't have any. And it just sounds... I don't like the sound of Fender amps without reverb. They just sound a bit dry and sterile, if that makes any sense. So, going to basically shove that reverb in, just add a bit of kind of texture to it, and go from there, really. So, without further ado, next thing you'll hear is clean, dirty, and fully wound up. We're going to crank this thing to 12 at one point. It's going to sound glorious. And yeah, then you'll hear what else it has to offer. So, back in a moo. Well, second. Okay, there we go, people of the tube. That's the Fender Pro Junior, and I think you'll hopefully, if the sounds come across okay, hopefully you'll see why I couldn't pass this one up. It just sings, and it screams, and it sounds wicked, and with the tiny spring in it, this joyous little pedal, it sounds amazing. These two should be together. They should always be together. They should, that should live right there. Okay, so, but yeah, hopefully the sound came across okay. I love the sound I had got out of the Telecaster. Gorgeous tone out of that. And the Gretsch as well. I mean, the Gretsch and the Tele are probably my favourite sounds next to my pedal board. But I really, really love this amp. It's really, really cool. It runs extremely hot, which kind of worries me because there's no way of rebiasing it. When I first got it, had it apart just to kind of clean out. It was full of kind of like dead spider carcasses and cobwebs, and I just wanted to kind of de-dust it. And so I had it apart, and I noticed on the actual inside the chassis there's no rebias pot, so it's obviously just a set bias. So that's okay, but it does run very, very hot. And I was just wondering if you ran it colder, well, of course you would. You get more headroom, which would be nicer because you'd be able to crank the thing and not have it break up so much. But I'm not sure if there's any way of doing that. I will have to consult my amp tech to see what he says. And also, there's only on and off. There's no standby. I don't think that's an issue for a 15-watt amp, even a valve amp, for that matter. I don't think that's much of an issue, but I am going to ask anyway. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to cause problems down the line, because I don't want to fry it, because it sounds amazing. And I just love it. I love it. I took this to my friend Ian to see what he thought of it, and he said it's just distinctively a Fender amp, and it's like exactly it. Yeah, this is kind of like when I, that's the sound I kind of hear, if you know what I mean. That's that kind of sound, and it's a really nice tweed sound. It's amazing. So yeah, the Fender Pro Junior, everybody, 15-watt volume tone. That's your lot. No effects loops, no nothing. Everything has to go into the front end. Single input, not dual input. Single 10-inch speaker, which is, let me just double check. Oh no, it's a Fender speaker. I do apologise. I thought it was an Eminence speaker, but it's not. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know, either way. But it's just a Fender stock speaker in there. At some point, I really want to experiment putting a Celestion speaker in here, which is what a lot of people do. And I'm very, very tempted by the Celestions because I love Celestion speakers. So I'll be at some point in the future, not for a while, I don't think, because I really like the way this speaker sounds. But at some point in the future, I'm definitely going to be getting a 10-inch Celestion speaker and shoving it in here and just seeing how it compares. So just see what happens. It might take some of that kind of like fizz out of it, which I don't find too intrusive. The fizz on this amp, it's quite nice. I mean, it's more of a presence fizz than a treble fizz. I don't know, people on YouTube, let me know what you think. But I love the way it looks, I love the way it sounds, I love the way it feels to play through it. It's really supremely dynamic. My only worry is how hot it runs. It runs like a toaster, supremely warm. When I took it to my friend Ian's, it was on for about, best part of 3-4 hours straight we had it on for and playing through it. And when I went to turn it off, the on-off switch was really, really, really warm. It wasn't kind of like, kind of like Vox AC30, don't touch it because you'll burn yourself on it. But it was very hot. So at some point, I am going to take this to my guitar tech and just see. I have no doubt it's running perfectly fine, but I just want to know if there's any way of lowering the bias a little bit, just so it doesn't. So it's just not so cooking, if you know what I mean. But then it might change the tone of the amp, and I'm terrified of that because I love the way it is right now. It's like, what do I do? But either way, do love it. Like I say, I don't think it'd be loud enough to gig with. I reckon, well, if you were just using this amp for your kind of like core tone, and you were just kind of using pedals to boost this thing and riding the volume, yes, easily be loud to gig with. But for me, using a pedal board, I think I would run out of headroom very quickly. With single coil pickups, it breaks up around 7. So you do get a fair amount of volume. But with humbuckers, it breaks up about 4. So on the volume dial. So you don't really have as much headroom with humbuckers as you do with single coils, which is a bit of a pain if you were flip-flopping between the two. I don't really flip-flop, I just like to stick with singles. I mean, the unjoyous thing of this point in time with no gigs, it's just frustrating. But it is what it is. What can you do? So, let people of the tube, let me know what you thought to the sound of this little beast here. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm in love with it very much. Like I say, I don't know if it's an amp I'm going to have forever, but it's definitely an amp I'm going to have for a long time, and I'm certainly going to enjoy it. I'm certainly going to use it. I'm certainly going to record it and have fun with it. And also, at some point, I really want to do a video. My friend Ian said what he'd love to see is a video where I run this alongside something like the Marshall MG or the Katana, to run them in like stereo, to see how they kind of like behave in stereo. So at some point we'll be doing that, definitely, because I'm very, very curious to how they sound together. Another notable thing is, I think Noel Gallagher uses these, the Pro Juniors as well, or is it a Blues Junior? I'm pretty sure it's a Pro Junior that Noel has. He has 2 of them, and I think he just winds them to the teeth, basically, and uses them for distortion. You always see them on top of his high watts, or Marshall cabs, as they used to be. Kind of, you know, you always had something like this in there. I'm pretty sure it was a Pro Junior that Noel used. It wasn't tweed, though. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this vid on the Pro Junior, everybody. Like I said, I don't know what year this is from. The serial number starts with a B. So if anybody knows what that prefix is, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this vid. I hope you enjoyed the sounds it made. I hope it came across okay. I certainly love it. And I'll see you again for another one very soon. Have a great morning, afternoon, and good evening. And goodbye now. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, and just if you're wondering, I was wearing earplugs. Don't worry about my ears. It's far too loud and it's far too kind of in your face to not wear earplugs. So I was wearing earplugs for all the loud bits. Pedal board, I didn't need it because it wasn't loud enough. When I was doing the clean thing with the Strat, didn't need it, wasn't loud enough. But as soon as I started playing with the Telecaster, earplugs went in. Happy days, no ringing ears. Joyous. See you later. Goodbye now.